Shortly before the Slim Shady EP released, in October 1997, Eminem would go to Los Angeles for the Rap Olympics, where he would come in second place.
Nobody's hearing you. You're a whack liar. Damn, all your white jokes just backfired. Cause bitch, you walking up the wrong creek. Like I said, all your boys that you was beat by a honky.
But whilst in California, he also appeared on a freestyle session on the Wake Up Show, where he was named as the show's Freestyle Performer of the Year. With his prolific raps impressing so many people on this trip, a copy of the Slim Shady EP would end up in the hands of an intern at Interscope. This would eventually be passed to industry heavy hitter Jimmy Iovine and LA rap legend Dr. Dre, who would hear it and take Eminem under his wing.
And then when I was in the Rap Olympics back in '97, I took second place in the Rap Olympics and gave my tape to some kids at Interscope. And Interscope gave the tape to Jimmy Iovine, and Jimmy Iovine liked it, and he gave it to Dre. He played it for Dre, and Dre liked it, and Dre was looking for me, you know, and found me like 3 days later.
Within just months of releasing the Slim Shady EP, it seemed like Eminem's career was finally taking off. In March 1998, he would get national coverage in the Source magazine's Unsigned Hype column, describing his Kim murder fantasy track, Just the Two of Us, as a semi-demented, guaranteed rewinder. And that same month, Eminem would be officially signed to Dr. Dre's record label under Interscope, Aftermath. And from here, the rap game's favourite doctor would get to operating, helping Eminem craft his breakout hit album, the Slim Shady LP, that would catapult him to the top of the rap game and to international stardom. And despite getting column inches in magazines for songs dedicated to fantasizing about her demise, at least for a short period, Kim would remain at Eminem's side during his ascension to the top of the music industry. Years later, on the track Mockingbird, Eminem said that when he met Dr. Dre, he flew Haley and Kim out to see them. For example, even in this throwback interview, you could see Eminem seemingly accompanied by both Dr. Dre and Kim, who appeared off screen, with him joking about Dre and Kim's presence in seemingly good spirits.
And there was this lady named Wendy Day. You touch me again, I'm gonna kill you. And I'm not playing. You hear me?
I'm gonna slap the shit out of me.
I'm gonna slap the piss out of you. You know what, Kim? Let me tell you something. You know how you're up? I'll tell you what, you fat. I'll tell you what. You know what?
You know what? Give that back.
Oh, here. Sure, I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, right, you fat. I'll tell you what, you're so fired you were never hired. I'll tell you. You know what? Hey, you know what? Take your big ears and you fly out of here. You fly out of here, dumbo. I'll tell you what. You know what? Now you get the first part of your name because you're dumb. You fat bro. I tell you what, you fat. You know what? You can say you all day on the bridge of my nose, but it still doesn't matter because you're in your hole. You still like me. And I'll tell you what. You got some fake ass Nikes, and they cost $10. New Balance. Oh, you know what? You have no balance because I'm a. You fat. I'll tell you what.
However, even with the money to fly her across the country, and with a successful rap career looming, this didn't stop the ups and downs in the relationship from intensifying. In Anthony Bozza's biography of Eminem, he explains that after proposing to Kim, and even buying her a car with his record deal advance money during this period, Eminem would actually return from LA to Detroit to find that Kim had returned the engagement ring and made off with the car, with Eminem waiting outside the house all night, noticing she never came home, then catching her out in a lie when he called her the next day, claiming to still be in LA and asking what she did last night, with Kim actually lying to Eminem, saying that she did come home when she didn't. This would descend into another argument where M would demand the car be given back, and thus the toxic cycle would continue. No wonder then, with this relationship turbulence continuing, whilst Eminem was hopping in and out of state to craft his future classic, when he got in the booth, he would lean even deeper into these murder fantasies about Kim that were picking him up so much buzz in the industry. An updated version of the song Just the Two of Us would be created, with a new title, 97 Bonnie and Clyde. With this infamous version of the song not only being one of the most popular tracks on his Slim Shady LP that was released on the 23rd of February 1999, but the album's cover art would also be inspired by this very song, with a grisly image depicting this fictional murder that took place on the song, with the picture showing Eminem and Haley at the pier that he says that he's going to dump Kim off on the track, along with a mocked up Kim dead body hanging out of Eminem's trunk in the foreground. Of course, the show-stealing track from this album would be Eminem's breakout commercial hit, My Name Is. But once Eminem started becoming a rap game celebrity, it was that shocking track 97 Bonnie and Clyde that people wanted to hear him talk about. Eminem would jokingly explain the song to Howard Stern in a 1999 interview, saying that the song is really about expressing love for his daughter, but at the same time, killing her mother.
You made a song about killing your girlfriend?
Yeah, on the album.
What's up with that?
What's the
name of that song?
It's called 97 Bonnie and Clyde. It's a song. It's like a song to my daughter, and I'm talking to her in baby talk, but I'm talking about how I killed her mother.
Oh.
Because we was going through some stuff at the time.
You know, like this little girl's gonna go through crap now because of what he's been through.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think so.
And that,
Trust me, she will.
honestly,
Trust me.
Right.
I mean, have you ever felt like you wanted to kill somebody? Didn't do it. But yeah, what I was really trying to do was express my love for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, kill her mother.
He'd actually further elaborate on the production of this song in his book Angry Blonde, which broke down the meaning behind some of his most famous songs, ultimately saying that the song was written in the summer of 1997 when Kim was using Haley as a weapon against him and not letting him see her, with M making the song with an intention to get back at Kim and make her look stupid in front of the music-listening public. But Eminem would admit in this book that he truly didn't expect the song to go much further than Kim and maybe a few people in the Detroit rap scene, suggesting that he had no idea that he would get a record deal and that this dark song would go nationwide. But boy, did that song and Eminem's whole album, with a fake dead Kim on the very front cover, take off like nothing else. The Slim Shady LP debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 albums charts, as well as charting on around 15 other charts internationally. Eminem's hatred of his baby mama was quite literally international news, and ironically, even Dr. Dre himself would say in later interviews that despite spotting the raw talent and wide appeal of Eminem as a rapper, he also acknowledged how crazy some of the twisted bars he had aimed towards his wife were, with Dre literally saying, "If I was her, I would have ran when I heard some of those songs," but also acknowledging the huge inspiration that this manic and toxic relationship provided for some of the most impactful songs of Eminem's career. And funnily enough, after the Slim Shady LP had gone global, Eminem would continue to drag Kim even outside of his own music, with Dr. Dre himself even getting in on the action. Eminem would subsequently appear on Dr. Dre's iconic 2001 album, another international chart hit that landed in the US on Billboard at number 2 and racked up chart entries in over 10 countries. M would appear on the track What's the Difference in a lyrical back and forth with Dr. Dre, where Dre actually offers to help Eminem dump Kim's body in the ocean, with Eminem replying saying that he doesn't need help, and rapping that if he does decide to kill Kim for real, he plans to put her in the front seat of his car with sunglasses on and drive her around California before dumping her out at the local police station. Basically, at this point, saying that you were going to kill Kim was becoming all the rage in the rap game. But for the time being, weirdly, Eminem and Kim would actually reconcile in real life. Because naturally, once the enormous success Eminem was receiving became apparent, Kim would of course be waiting in the wings looking for her slice of the pie too, regardless of how much disrespect Eminem had shown her to get there. According to Debbie's memoir, when Eminem returned from LA as a rap kingpin rather than a useless nobody, Kim was right back on the scene, eager to soak up the glitz and glamour of his newfound stardom, with Debbie claiming that following the enormous success of the Slim Shady LP selling millions of copies, Eminem and Kim were quickly back together and revealing that they would soon be getting married, with an ecstatic Kim proudly declaring that there would be no prenup because they were truly in love. A bold statement, after which Debbie actually claims that behind Eminem's back, Kim would be pretending to puke, but they would indeed tie the knot in a very rushed ceremony in 1999, with Debbie claiming that she herself had even attempted to delay them marrying, but suggesting that Kim had rushed M to City Hall to seal the deal, with the low-key marriage being confirmed just before closing time. This quickie marriage at City Hall was apparently followed by a small church ceremony for friends and family in June of 1999. However, keeping the marriage together would get harder and harder once Eminem would embark on his Up in Smoke tour along with Dr. Dre and other pop-puffing legends of the rap game, with Eminem seemingly leaving Kim behind in the very trailer that M and Debbie had lived in before the fame. Now, years later on the song Mockingbird, Eminem would claim that when he went on the road, this is when Kim developed the habit of substance abuse, as his rise to fame was just too fast for her to handle, with Kim later claiming that Eminem did not support her financially during this period.
I still worked for maybe 2.5 years after Marshall got signed because I didn't see really any of the money. I mean, maybe a check every other week for $800, $900, or if I called and said, you know, Haley needs this or I need this, you know, that's the only time I would see anything.
I mean, it doesn't quite add up. She says she didn't get anything from Eminem, apart from the $1,600 a month and anything the baby needed. But Kim would later tell Dr. Keith that she rushed this marriage because she was worried what would happen when M went off on tour.
He was getting ready to start his first tour, and I think we were both worried about what was going to happen while he was gone. But we just wanted, you know, something more binding. So we did it. We got married. It was exciting. It was small and little and cheesy, and none of my family was there, but it was still... it was exciting. I felt like we really loved each other when we did it.
and it would seem that Kim's fear of infidelity were indeed valid, as indeed Eminem would reportedly cheat on Kim with groupies on the road after his newfound stardom had chicks throwing themselves at him. This infidelity would apparently be detailed extensively in a later memoir called Shady Business by his former bodyguard Byron Williams, aka Big Nas, who looked after Eminem closely during this time on tour, as well as suggesting that sometimes Kim would attend tour dates with Eminem where she would be physically abusive towards him. Kim later suggested that she had genuinely expected Eminem to be faithful to her after their whirlwind marriage and his meteoric rise to fame.
I was hoping that when he went on tour, and because I seen how fast his career was taking off, I was hoping that that would keep him faithful and grounded to me. That was my main goal. His first tours, when our relationship really started to deteriorate, he was cheating on me a lot and drinking and using drugs, and he wasn't home, and it just wasn't good.
And she would eventually elaborate in her Dr. Keith interview, saying that she believed that when Eminem got famous, things fell apart in their relationship because she truly never expected him to succeed.
I never in my wildest dreams expected him to become so famous. His success would completely turn our lives around and just ruin the relationship and the bond that we had and destroy our family.
Going on to say that she believed that Eminem's ego grew massively after that first tour.
Right when Marshall's first tour started is when his ego just went, you know, he was untouchable. Like, he was God. That's what he thought, you know. Every time I talked to him, I wasn't allowed to question him about what was going on. If I did, I was just told that I should be grateful that he still talks to me, you know, how many women throw themselves at him, and I was just pretty much felt like a piece of crap.
Perhaps Eminem was wrong to cheat on Kim on tour, or maybe Kim was just naive to believe that he wouldn't, but it was certainly wrong of them both to rush into this marriage amid such a turbulent time in both of their lives. But considering Kim's vindictive nature, it's no surprise that the way she saw things, two wrongs would make a right. And soon she would be looking to exact revenge on Eminem, using infidelity as her weapon of choice too. But unfortunately for them both, Kim actually ended up getting more than she bargained for. Because Eminem, despite becoming a global megastar by this point, he was after all still Slim Shady deep down, a loose cannon from the mean streets of Detroit. And when he did eventually catch Kim in the act of doing exactly what she had accused him of doing on tour, he would just lose it and go crazy, making a split-second decision that nearly cost him his entire career as well as his freedom.